Welcome, everybody, to City TV Sports Baseball Game of the Week with the Hawthorne Cougars and the Lawndale Cardinals. And we're at Lawndale High School. The Lawndale Cardinals are 2-3 and 1-2 at home. Meanwhile, the Hawthorne Cougars come in at 3-1-1, and they are 0-1-1 on the road. Hawthorne will face Armando Novella. Armando is 1-0 on the season, a left-handed pitcher. And he will face Stevie Leva in left field. Then it'll be Jonathan Juarez and Andrew Banuelos. First pitch is in for a strike, and a good start to this crosstown rivalry. Armando Novella, actually a right-handed pitcher, thought he was a left-hander. Pardon me. A little bit of a breaking ball, and that's called strike two. 2 pitches and 2 strikes to Stevie. Stevie comes in batting .200 with 2 hits on the young season. The speedy center fielder grounds it to second base and in for a base hit. So leadoff hit for the Cougars, and let's see if Jeff Hines, the head coach of the Cougars, coaching over at third base, will get the runners going. Coaching over at first base is J.C. Randolph. Good to see him back in uniform. And here comes Jonathan Juarez. We'll get the infield and the outfield for the Cardinals when we can. But right now, we got something going right now with Stevie Leva over at first and a bunt. And, yep, down to first base, and Mike Henderson making the tag, but safe. Jose Sandoval behind the plate for, actually, that's Dimitri McField, and Tyler Bonsky is over at first base. Our umpires today, Jerry Flory is behind the plate, and John Zolo, a local Lawndale resident, is on the bases. So Dimitri McField is going to be busy today with these speedy Cougars. As Jeff Hines, the head coach, as there you see Stevie Leva being held on by Bonsky. Jeff Hines loves to get these Cougars to run. Let's just see how many stolen bases Leva has. Stevie is 2 out of 2 in the early season. Squaring to bunt is Juarez, looks at a strike. And it's 2-1. Jonathan Juarez coming in batting .429 at .429 in 10 games played, is not the best hitter. He's the second best hitter. Sandoval is the better hitter on the team, and the stolen base attempt, and no call yet by Zolo, but Leva's standing there at second base, so we're going to call it a stolen base as the throw was short hopped down towards second as George Escobedo tried to make the tag but couldn't. So stolen base number 3 for Leva. And Jeff Hines is now looking, as you see the pitcher, Armando Novella with the glasses. So Juarez getting a little talking to by his head coach. Low. So first walk of the game given up by Novella. That'll bring up Andrew Banuelos, the pitcher. And this is the first time we can introduce you now to Jeff Perhody, the 4th head coach for the Cardinals in 4 games. So I'm sure he's trying to calm down Armando, especially with the runner over at second base and now first base. So let's go over that infield. On the infield from third to first is Isaac Gallon. And George Escobedo's at shortstop. Mike Zambrano is at second. Tyler Bonsky is at first. In the outfield, it's Noah Tapia, Arnold Escobedo, and Ivan Argueta in right field. Behind the plate, we've already met Dimitri McField, and on the mound is Armando Novella in a little bit of a mess here in the top of the first. Curveball, and that is in for a strike. Andrew didn't like that. Andrew, the starting pitcher, is the captain of the Cougars now, and a very good pitcher. Would love to find out where he's going to go next year, or where he's thinking about going. Batting .375 in 3 games played. Fastball, and that's nubbed up the first baseline. It's foul. So Andrew having a good career here at Hawthorne High School. Good to get back to the old ball yard, even though the wind blows hard on shore from Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, right towards home plate. So it's really tough to hit a ball hard and deep into right field. It's a challenge even to do it in left field as well. Good pickup by McField, and it's 1-2 to Banuelos. Banuelos with 3 hits and 3 RBI, and has a double and a triple and a home run. So Banuelos is getting it done on the mound and behind and at the plate. Curveball, and that misses. Just low. So it's 2-2. So I would imagine with your big RBI man up there, Banuelos, Stevie Leiva's probably going to stay put at second base. But with Jeff Hines, he keeps you on your toes. And that's low. Now it's 3-2. So Andrew Banuelos, looking down at Coach Hines, was staring at an 0-2 count. Now he's worked it to 3-2. Now the base runners will be off. With nobody out, Stevie Leiva going to be leading the charge with Jonathan Juarez right behind him. Zambrano bird dogging. Novello taking his time. Fastball, and that just misses for ball 4. So now the bases loaded, nobody out. 2 straight walks, and here comes Javier Martinez, the third baseman. Javier looks like he's done a little bit of growing since we last saw him last year. Doesn't have a hit in 9 appearances. 6 official at bats, has scored a couple of runs, and is scoring around a bunt. In the dirt. Good stop by Dimitri McField. Coach Ben in the hizzy. Always good to see him. Leiva over at third base, Juarez at second, Banuelos at first. And that pitch was in for a strike. So it's 1-1. Martinez looking for his first hit and has the bases jammed with Cougars. Martinez squaring to bunt again. Pulls it back, and believe that's a strike because Martinez didn't pull the bat back in time. So it could be 1-2. Novello looking for the first out, maybe a ground ball to get a double play for a run. Curve ball, and that misses. So walks in a run. Okay, so we're just going to have to get used to Jerry Flores, the way he does his balls and strikes. But an RBI for Martinez on the walk, and the bases remain loaded. It's 1-0, nobody out. Bases remain loaded. Jonathan Juarez at third. Andrew Banuelos at second. Javier Martinez is at first, and that brings up Max Riley. And Max is squaring to bunt, and that's in for a strike. Riley in 3 games, hitting .125, has 1 hit but has scored 2 runs and also has 2 RBI. Novella looks at the runners. And this is a nice bunt right back to the pitcher. Novella throws over to first and records the out. So on the squeeze play, the runner is out 1-3, but Juarez scores to make it 2-0 in favor of the Cougars. So an RBI for Riley. And that brings up Jose Sandoval. Jose batting .500, has 4 hits and 2 RBI. Fastball hits the corner for a strike. Sandoval is the 6th batter in the top of the 1st inning. In the dirt, good stop by McField. 1-1. A sign of contrast between the two schools. Lawndale looking to find a coach and a coaching staff that can stick. Meanwhile, Jeff Hines, as the runner coming down from third. McField now getting him into a pickle and is tagged out by Isaac Galan. So 2 down. And cut down in the rundown, 2-3, is Andrew Banuelos. So Javier Martinez remains at second. 2-1 to Sandoval. Should be 3-1. So if Novella can get Sandoval here, he'd get out of it cheap enough. Fouled at the plate. Okay, got the official count now. It's 2-2. Two men in, 1 man on at second, and a 2-2 count. That one's outside. Now it's 3-2. So here comes the 3-2. Novella looking back at second base. And Javier Martinez. looking to get out of the inning. Sandoval hanging tough. Fouls another one back. Novella looks like a youngster out there. Armando is just a sophomore. Lots of sophomores and freshmen on this Lawndale team. And that one's in the dirt, and ball 4. Another walk. So third walk in the inning. And that brings up Carlos Jacobo playing left field today. Jacobo in 3 games batting .250 is 1 for 4 on the young season. No RBI, no runs scored, no extra base hits. Fastball, and that's low and outside, 1-0. So 2 on and 2 out, and 3 in. Or check that, 2 in. Breaking ball, and that's in for a strike. 1-1. Runner at first and second. Javier Martinez at second. And Jose Sandoval at first. On the outside corner for a strike. 1-2. So now Armando is 1 strike away from getting back in the dugout for the first time. Cardinals have been out there for a little over 15 minutes now in the top of the first. Breaking ball, and that's hit on the ground to shortstop. So it's Escobedo to Bonsky. And down go the Cougars, but not before they score 2 runs. Bottom of the first inning, Cardinals send Arnold Escobedo, followed by Mike Zambrano and Dimitri McField, to face Andrew Banuelos. Batting fourth will be George Escobedo, followed by Tyler Bonsky. Then Jesse Garcia, the designated hitter, Noe Tapia, Isaac Galon, and Ivan Argueta. Andrew Banuelos is 2-0 with a 2.58 ERA and 11 strikeouts. Nice fastball, but it's a little up. 1-0. Arnold coming in batting .333 as that curveball is in the dirt. 1-1. Escobedo with 3 RBI, also 3 stolen bases, and Arnold is a senior on the squad. And now it's 1-2. Just 5 seniors on this squad. Bouncer right back to Banuelos. And he flips it over to Henderson. 1 away. 1-3 on the putout. Coaching over at first base, you may have seen a quick glimpse of Coach Matthew. And his last name escapes me, of course. Got to write these things down, kids. Matthew is a former player here at Lawndale High School, and now is the head coach of the JV. Is stepping in as Mike Zambrano looks at strike 1 from Banuelos. And the new head coach is Jeff Prahody, coaching over at third base. fouled off of the mask of Sandoval. And it's 0-2. Jose, a very durable catcher. Just see him walk by, getting a pat on the back from umpire Flory. Mike Zambrano, just a freshman. Look out. That fastball will make you think about what happened last weekend. And this one's fouled off of the umpire, Jerry Flory. So remains 1-2. As umpire Flory felt that one, he walks it off. Zambrano looking to get something going, get those 2 runs back. He's got to get on base. Swing and a miss. And down goes Zambrano. First strikeout for Banuelos. He has 12 on the season. And that'll bring in Dimitri McField, who looks at a fastball for strike 1. Ground ball to third base. Nice hop for Martinez. And a nice stretch over third base. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals in the bottom of the first inning.
Well, a tough outing, first of all, for number 10, Armando Novello, the pitcher for the Lawndale Cardinals here. Could have been much worse. He only allowed 2 runs on 2 base-loaded situations. Coach is going to stick with him, though. Number 16 for the Cardinals has been warming up in the first inning. We'll see how long Coach Jeff sticks with Novello, but so far he's sticking with him. That's the guy the Cardinals are going to run with. Lou, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Egidio. And number 16 is Jesus Sanchez. As McField, who struck out, actually bounced out to third base to end the inning. Armando Hernandez doing a little warm-up activity. So the Cougars are up 2-0 as we're getting set. Armando Novello has actually been playing like a TV novella. Lots of emotion, lots of action, highs and lows. And that was just the first inning. So it'll be Mike Henderson, followed by the bottom of the order, Jesus Soriano, and then it'll be the top of the order and Stevie Leyva. Armando Novello, just a sophomore. Fastball right down the middle. So let's see if Armando can come back and get the Cougars or try to quiet them down. Dimitri McField is a junior. Next pitch to Henderson is a ball. And right on schedule, the wind starts to come in from the ocean. Big looping breaking ball that just kind of stayed up there. And it's 2-1. Top of the second. Glad you joined us on CityTV. Fastball, and that misses outside. 3-1. Armando needs to challenge the hitters a little more. 3 walks in the first inning, is in danger of another one. And this one's hammered into left field. And that's a foul ball. So a long strike, and it's 3-2. check that. Was that an out? So that was a catch. So that's an out, not a strike. F7 on the put out, and that brings up Jesus Soriano, who looks at strike one. So a nice catch out in left field by Noe Tapia. So many people in front here. Got to apologize. So strike two. So now Novella ahead 0-2 to Jesus Soriano. Batting .286. Has a couple of hits and 7 at bats and swings and misses at that one. And first strikeout for Novello. That'll bring up the top of the order and Stevie Leyva. So a couple of outs will get you some confidence, especially a strikeout on a high fastball. Leyva had a bouncer up the middle for a base hit and then came around and scored. Also stole his third base of the year to make it 1-0. And hits this one high in the air to over shortstop, and it's put away by George Escobedo. So 1-2-3 go the Cougars in their half of the top of the second. And we'll see the Cardinals coming up next. Bottom of the second, and that'll bring up George Escobedo, and he'll be followed by Tyler Bonsky and then Jesse Garcia to face Andrew Banuelos. In for a strike. Andrew really throwing the ball hard and precise to Jose Sandoval. Nice breaking ball to fool Escobedo into swinging and missing. George, batting .333, also has 6 runs. The senior shortstop leading in that department. Fastball fouled away. Still remains 0-2. So George, also a senior, along with his brother Arnold. Fastball, and that's fouled away. So George wasting some good fastballs by Andrew Banuelos, who set down the Cardinals 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first, and this is a strike. As Flory said, you went around. So it's a strikeout swinging, and that's number 2 on the day for Banuelos. That'll bring up tall and lanky Tyler Bonsky. A breaking ball that didn't break. Tyler just a sophomore. He's got to start eating some of those cheeseburgers to fill out his shirt and pants there as he looks at a fastball down the middle for a strike. A big strike zone for Banuelos to throw to. Tyler batting .200. Curveball, and that's low. Good eye by Tyler. So the sophomore with those long arms trying to catch up with his varsity pitching. And pops this one up, and coming over to first base is Henderson. And it goes into the screen. So that wind will really wreak havoc with you, especially if you're in the field. So the wind blew it foul, so it's 2-2 now to Bonsky. Fastball, and that's low. So 3-2 now to Tyler Bonsky. Cardinals need some base runners. Fastball, and that's hit high up in the air, popped up towards second base, and Jose Soriano, and he puts it away. 2 down. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Jesse Garcia, as you see Soriano given the 2 outside. Bonsky with the swing, but got under it. So Jesse Garcia batting 125. And when he gets on base, he usually comes around to score. He's got 3 runs scored. This one's fouled at the plate. 0-1. Two down, nobody on for the Cardinals. George Escobedo struck out swinging for Banuelos' second strikeout of the game. And the fastball, that was right down Marine. Tyler Bonsky just popped out to the second baseman in the bottom of the second. Fastball, almost blew that by. Andrew Banuelos did to Jesse Garcia, and down goes Garcia and the Cardinals. Again, 1-2-3 go the Cardinals in the bottom of the second. Just before the top of the third inning, let's go to Tamra.
Well, so far, Hawthorne has been able to protect the plate with 1 single, 4 walks, and 2 runs. Coach Randolph is telling his team to keep quiet and stay focused at the plate. Lou, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Tamra is coming up to bat for the Cougars. It'll be Jonathan Juarez, Andrew Banuelos, and Javier Martinez against Armando Novella, who pitched a terrific second inning. Would rather forget about the first. That pitch drops in for a strike to Juarez. Juarez walked and scored back in the first inning. Juarez came in batting .429 and 3 hits in his 7 at-bats, and it's 1-1. So the Cougars looking to get their 4th win against 1 loss and 1 tie. Another breaking ball that drops in for a strike. 1-2 now to Juarez. So Novella in the top of the second got Henderson to fly out, but then his confidence really lit its fuse when Jesus Soriano struck out. And now it's 2-2. But Andrew Banuelos, just like Old Man River, just keeps flowing through the Cardinals. Here comes the 2-2, and that's a strike. Okay, so I must have got my count mixed up again. So here comes the pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. Escobedo. Nice throw to Bonsky. Nice play on the shortstop, and that was a nice slow roller. George Escobedo had to be on his game for that one. So 6-3 on the putout. Andrew Banuelos steps in. Andrew walked, came all the way around to third, but then was caught in a rundown and was out catcher McField to third baseman Gallant. Fastball right down the middle. You know, the wind, I shouldn't say this because now it's going to jinx things. The wind hasn't really been a factor at all today. And yep, just as I say that, guess what just woke up? Strike two. 0-2 now to Banuelos, who's been getting it done. Andrew batting .375, 3 out of 8. And strike three called. A nice pitch by Novella. And that'll be 2 down. So second strikeout now for Novella. So first pitch to Javier Martinez is out of the strike zone for a ball. Javier walked and got an RBI back in the first inning. This one's grounded foul past the Cardinal dugout, and it's 1-1. So Javier with that RBI, I believe that was his first on the season. Got it the easy way. That was his second RBI of the season. This one's hit high in the air to right field, or to center field, and that's the third out of the inning. So 1, 2, 3 go the Cougars again. So after the 2-run first by Armando with 4 walks, he's really calmed down to take control. And let's watch the replay of this one. And you're not going to get a whole lot of windless chances here at Lawndale High School. So Arnold Escobedo with the catch as we go to the bottom of the third. Back at Lawndale High School, the Cardinals come up against Andrew Banuelos, who struck out looking. And it'll be Noe Tapia with his first at bat. Isaac Gallen, and the bottom of the order, and Ivan Argueta. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Banuelos likes to play pitch and catch with Jose Sandoval. Curveball, and that's bunted at and missed, so that's a strike. 0-2 to Noe Tapia, who's a senior on the team. Out in left field. That's fouled back. So it remains 0-2. Here comes the 0-2, and swung on a miss that gets away from Sandoval as it was in the dirt. Throw down, and safe at first is the speedy Tapia. So a strikeout credited to Banuelos. Strikeout E2. So first error of the game and the first base runner of the game for the Cardinals. So Isaac Gallen steps in, batting .308. Tapia has 3 stolen bases on the year. So we'll keep an eye on him as he gets a nice lead against Henderson. Banuelos knows that, and Mike Henderson holding him on. So Banuelos finally has something else to distract him. And that's the base runner, Tapia, over at first. Tapia not going, but a throw back down. And Henderson doing a good job to keep the ball in front of him. Meanwhile, Gallen has not seen. Well, that pitch was a ball. A bunt right back to Banuelos. No one was at second base to cover, so he throws to first, so the sacrifice works. 1-3. And that'll bring up the bottom of the order in Ivan Argueta. Argueta looking down at Coach Perhody, batting .333 with 3 RBI. Argueta out in right field. Breaking ball, and that cuts the outside corner for strike 1. So 1 down, a Cardinal in scoring position at second base. Playing behind him is the shortstop Jonathan Juarez. Bird dogging him, and look out! Just underneath the tag. So says John Zolo. On the corner. Strike 2. 0-2 to Argueta. Argueta looking for something to bring Argueta, to bring, I should say, Gallen, or I should even say Tapia, 90 feet closer at least. Swing and a miss on the fastball, and that takes care of Argueta. So that's strikeout number 5 for Banuelos. So that brings up the top of the order, and Arnold Escobedo with 2 out and 1 on.
Strike him out.
Fastball, and that just misses the outside corner. 0-1. Escobedo came in batting .333, bounced back to the pitcher his first time up. Also has 3 RBI. One of 5 seniors on this Cardinal squad. Banuelos chases back Tapia. This one's fouled back. A fastball that looked like it was up. So it's 1-1. First game of the season for CityTV. Glad you joined us. And Tapia again is chased back by the pickoff throw from Banuelos to Juarez.
Strike him out.
And that one just bends out of the strike zone, and so it's 2-1 now to Escobedo.
Don't play games with him, Andrew. Tú nomás, ya sabes.
Fastball, and that's bounced right on a hop to Juarez and throws it across, and that takes care of the threat. 6-3 on the putout. And down go the Cardinals. They get the leadoff man on, but strand Tapia at first base as we go to the top of the 4th.
Well, the Cardinals finally get some runners on base. They need to get some support here to Armando Novello, who since giving up 2 runs in the first inning has been stellar, has paced himself and has struck out 2 runners and has gone 1-2-3. Coach Jeff keeps positive on the bench over there, and they're sticking with him. That's the guy the Cardinals are going to run with so far here. Lou, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Egidio. And Armando Novella comes back for his fourth inning of work. And he'll face Max Riley, Jose Sandoval, and Carlos Jacobo. Jeff Hines comes running across, and there you see Armando. Armando's gone 3 innings, has given up 2 runs on a hit and 2 strikeouts and 4 walks. Has set the Cougars down in order since the top of the first inning. So Riley comes in. And in the hole, but Escobedo can't keep it underneath him. So a base hit to Max Riley, and the leadoff man is on. That brings up Sandoval. Jose has really turned into a good catcher. Last year had to be very active behind the plate. But with Andrew Banuelos on the hill, not a whole lot of flopping around like an ice hockey goaltender. Sandoval looking to bunt. Pulls it back, but it's a strike anyway. So Jose Sandoval, batting .500, has 2 RBI. Let's see if he's going to bunt him over, but Sandoval calls time. Sandoval looking down at Coach Jeff Hines for the sign. Let's see if he wants to bunt again. Looks like he's swinging away. Runner being held on by Bonsky. Curveball, and that's hacked foul. And it's 0-2. So coming back over to first base is Max Riley. Riley's a junior. And that ball is in the dirt. Sandoval around to bunt. And puts it up the third baseline, and that should be strike 3. It is. So a strikeout credited to Novella. Now he has 3 strikeouts on the afternoon against 4 walks. So it's 1 out, and that'll bring up Carlos Jacobo, who was 0 for 1, bounced out to shortstop to end the top of the first. Big hole between third base and shortstop as Gallen is guarding the line, and Escobedo is getting ready to cover second base in case Max Riley decides to steal. So it's 0-1 to Jacobo on the foul ball. Curveball, and that's just outside. Armando wanted that one, and it's 1-1. As you're looking at Armando Novella, the young pitcher, and there's Max Riley being held on by Tyler Bonsky. Fastball, and that's fouled back. So it's 1-2. And Riley was off with the pitch there. Might have been a run and hit. Jacobo came into the game hitting .250, a little bit less than that now after the ground out in the first inning. Riley over at first. Novella looks over at him. Curveball, and that's hit right up the middle for a base hit. Riley hits second base and stays there after it's picked up by Arnold Escobedo, and he gets it back in. So 2 hits in the inning. With 1 out, and that brings up Mike Henderson, who's 0 for 1. Big Mike checking in. Mike is a junior. Fastball, and that's popped up and out of play. So 0-1 to Henderson. Looking to get at least 1 Cougar home. Cougars got 2 runs in the first inning. And then Armando Novello settled down after that. But now he's in a bit of a mess. Fastball way outside. And it's 1-1. So this is an interesting at bat here for Novella to see if he can get Henderson and not overthrow the ball like he just did. Curveball, and that is a beauty. But is it a strike? We'll call it a strike. So 1-2. Henderson getting ready for the pitch. Novello looks back at the runner at second and Riley. And this one's hit into right field, and it gets by Argueta. In to score is Max Riley. Coming around third and coming home is Carlos Jacobo, chugging into third base. And Henderson is safe with a 2-run triple. And it's 4-0. Nope, they call him out. So a nice throw to cut down Henderson at third base, but 2 runs are in. So we'll give Henderson a single and an error. As Novella pitches a ball out of the strike zone to Serrano, and it's 1-0. So at any rate, it's 4-0 in favor of Hawthorne. The bunt at the plate is foul, so it's 1-1 now to Serrano. So Henderson tried to stretch that single, and then it bounced by Ivan Argueta for an error. 2-1 now to Soriano. And the speedy runners in front of Henderson, Riley and Jacobo, came around to score. Fastball, and that's in for a strike. So 2-2. 2-2 to Serrano, and this one's popped up. McField, does he have a play? Nope. Look out, Ironsides. Almost. So it remains 3-2. So the Novella there, you can, oh, behind him you can see that Friday afternoon traffic. Yikes. But Soriano looking to keep the inning alive. Novella looking to end it. And that one goes off the mask of McField. And boy, there you can see how those face masks and helmets are designed to deflect the ball rather than absorb it, like the old cast iron masks that the broadcaster and used to wear. Maybe that's why I'm a little bit goofy. Seventh pitch of the at bat, and that's low. Full count now to Soriano. A lot of fans here today too from both schools. That's good to see. That means the rivalry lives. This one's hit in the air to left center field, and coming on to put it away is Noe Tapia. That does it for the Cougars, I should say, in the top of the fourth, but they get 2 runs on a couple of hits and leave nobody as we go to the bottom of the fourth. First pitch of the bottom of the fourth inning to Mike Zambrano is in for a strike. Zambrano struck out in the first inning, is 0 for 1. Just a freshman. This one bends low and outside, so it's 1-1. Zambrano will be followed by Dimitri McField and then George Escobedo against Andrew Banuelos. Fastball, and that's pulled to third base. Picked up by Martinez and throws across to Henderson for the out. 5-3 on the putout, and that brings up McField, who bounced out to Martinez to end the first inning. Dimitri, very active catcher behind the plate. Didn't see him last year as he looks at strike 1. In the dirt, 1-1. Curveball and a nice one. Strike 2. 1-2 now to McField. Comes the 1-2. Look out. That fastball, some chin music. That'll wake you up. So it's 2-2 now to Dimitri. So the weather here in Lawndale is unique to the rest of the South Bay area because the wind coming directly on shore, especially right here at the high school. Now it's 3-2. It can be 80, 90 degrees everywhere else, but with that nice ocean breeze coming in, okay, it's a gale. It'll get into the 60s real quick. And a walk given up to Dimitri by Andrew Banuelos. First walk of the afternoon against 5 strikeouts. And that'll bring up George Escobedo. This is the meat of the Cardinals' order, with Dimitri, the third batter in the order. Escobedo number 4 and Tyler Bonsky number 5. And Escobedo has a base hit into right field. And McField goes all the way to third base after the long throw by Max Riley. So good piece of base running by Dimitri on the base hit by George Escobedo. That's the first hit of the ball game by the Cardinals. So a walk and now a hit given up by Banuelos. And you got to wonder if this early in the season he might be running out of gas a little bit. But Tyler Bonsky, the sophomore, steps in and has to turn away from that one. Tyler popped up to second base his first time up. Just missed the ball, getting it to line drive over second. And Banuelos trying to catch either one of the base runners on the corner. McField over at third, Escobedo at first, but Escobedo not biting. Henderson holding Escobedo on. Fastball is a strike. 1-1. Banuelos, a fastball again, challenging the tall, lanky sophomore. And it's 1-2.
Let's go Cougars.
A lot of Cougar fans right behind us.
Let's go Cougars.
Banuelos gets Bonsky at 1-2, looking for strikeout number 6. If you watch City TV baseball in the past, you've heard me say that pickoff move hardly ever works, especially in the pros. And this is hit into right field for a base hit. In to score the first run for the Cardinals is Dimitri McField on the RBI single by Tyler Bonsky. And it's 4-1. So to second base goes Escobedo. And the youngster with an RBI in a big game, big rivalry game. And that'll bring up Jesse Garcia, the designated hitter, who swings and misses through a Banuelos fastball. Yeah, well, I saw that pickoff move work quite a few times in the pros, surprisingly. Garcia squares to bunt. Did he get the bat back in time? Yes, he did. It's 1-1. Escobedo at second, Bonsky at first after his RBI single. Garcia batting 125 coming in the game. Bunts this one, and Sandoval made the catch. Great catch by Jose Sandoval. There's the play of the year so far right there. Let's watch this one. Jose gets rid of the mask and dives for it. That'll bring up Noe Tapia, and Sandoval can't go after that one. So there's your defensive play of the game right there. And you saw how active Sandoval had to be to get up and find the ball, fight the sun off. And a pickoff move is Jonathan Juarez, keeping Escobedo close. But the senior left fielder looking to knock him in. This one's fouled at the plate as Escobedo was off with the pitch. This one's fouled away. Tapia struck out, but the ball was dropped by Sandoval on the error and was stranded at second back in the third inning. Manuelos chasing Escobedo back again. Banuelos steps off the rubber again. So Escobedo doing a good job of distracting Andrew, even though he has a 3-run lead. Oh yeah, and 5 strikeouts. Breaking ball, but that's hit off the end of the bat and into left field. Hitting third and coming home after the ball's dropped by Jacobo. So coming around to third base is Bonsky on the double. Going to give Tapia a double, and it's 4-2.
It's all right, Cougars. Come on. Play that defense.
So Noe Tapia hitting that ball on the nose.
Brand new batter.
And that'll bring up a pinch hitter, I believe. It's, well, and we hope to find out who that is. Yeah. Okay, so somewhere we have a mistake that I'll have to figure out on my scorecard. So if this is Noe Tapia, swings and misses. Swing and a miss, and down goes Tapia. So I may have made a big mistake, and the pop foul may have been not caught by Sandoval, so that meant Jesse Garcia would have gotten the RBI double, because this is Isaac Galan, and he looks at a strike. Swing and a miss again. So Banuelos woke up after the 2-run double by Garcia. So I apologize. That's my bad. And a bouncer back to Banuelos, and he flips it over to Henderson, and that will be that. But an RBI double by Jesse Garcia, and the lead is now cut in half. Four to 2 is our score. Hawthorne leading Lawndale. Let's go to Tamra.
After a flawless second inning, Andrew Banuelos gave up 4 hits and 2 runs. The coach told him, "Don't worry, no problem, stay poised. He'll look to come back strong." Back to you, Luke.
All right, thank you very much, Tamara. As we're getting some sort of changes going on, hopefully Tamara can get our changes since she's covering Hawthorne. Looks like Jesus Sanchez is taken over on the mound for the Lawndale Cardinals. He was warming up back in the second inning. So taking over in the top of the fifth is Sanchez. And that'll bring up the top of the order for the Cougars. Stevie Leyva, followed by Jonathan Juarez and Andrew Banuelos. And so Jesus, first pitch to Leyva is outside. 4 runs on 4 hits for Hawthorne. Outside to Leyva, 2-0. Two runs on 3 hits for Lawndale. Leyva looks at ball 4. Not the way you want to start things off against these quick Cougars, and Leyva the quickest one of them, usually high up in the stolen base charts. Leyva is 3 out of 3, already has a stolen base. Check that. Is 2 out of 2 on the year. Check that. He does have a stolen base. He's now 1 for 2 with a walk, a run scored, a hit, and a stolen base. So Sanchez coming in the ball game in the 5th inning, trying to keep the Cougars at bay. As the runner goes, the pitch is grounded over to second base, and Brano over to first. So 4-3 on the put out, but on the play, Stevie Leyva goes to second. And that'll bring up Andrew Banuelos, who's gone all the way. And there you see the play. Good piece of hitting by Juarez. First pitch is away for a ball, 1-0 to Banuelos, who's 0 for 1, struck out looking, but walked and was in a rundown between second and home back in the first inning. 2-0. Miguel Osorio has taken over for Noe Tapia in left field for the Cardinals. So now it's 3-0 to Banuelos. Fastball, and that's in for a strike as Banuelos taken all the way. Runner at second is Leyva, who walked to lead the inning off. Juarez bounced out to second. And Leyva trying to go down to third, and the throw is down there. And let's see if the ball is knocked out. And hopefully Gallen is not knocked out. So time is out. Leyva's walking off. And we'll find out about Isaac Gallan. And he gets up. He was just bowled over by Stevie Leyva. There you see it. Just tangled up, and Gallen got the worst of it. But it looks like he's going to stay in there. So the pitch was a ball. Well, wait a minute. If the pitch was a ball, then he would have, nope. That's right, it wasn't a force. So, okay. So Leyva went on his own and is out 2-5. And best guess is Andrew Banuelos is on with a walk. So the throw down to first base was null and void anyway because of the walk. And that means Javier Martinez steps in 0 for 1 with a walk and an RBI back in the first inning. Flew out to center back in the third inning. Let's see if Banuelos is a threat to run. He's 1 for 1 in 3 games. Fastball just misses. It's 1-0 to Martinez. Took something off of it, did Sanchez, and that falls in for a strike. So a lot of action going on in just 2 batters in the top of the 5th inning. Good framing by McField, but Jerry Flory doesn't buy it, so it's 2-1. Jesus Sanchez on the mound in relief of Armando Novella, who went 4 innings. Sanchez looks at the runner and to shortstop, Escobedo. And the ball gets away from Bonsky. Escobedo couldn't get to second in time. And no one's covering home. So Sanchez finally does. So down to third base goes Banuelos. And at first base is Martinez on the error by Escobedo. So just give 1 error on Escobedo there. But then I'm not the official scorer. Max Riley steps in. Is 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. Bounced back to the pitcher, but got a man to come in anyway. That was Jonathan Juarez to make it 2-0 in the first inning. And then had a base hit to lead things off in the 4th inning and was hit in by Henderson on the long double. Actually a base hit and an error on Argueta. So Riley looks at a ball. I believe it's 2-0.
Go, Zeus, get him here, kid, let's go. Behind you.
McField drops that one.
Come on, Meeks.
So another ball to Max Riley, and Sanchez is in danger of loading up the bases. Let's see if he's taken all the way.
Attaboy.
Fastball in for a strike. Ground ball to the hole. Escobedo picks it up, goes the long way to first, and the ball gets by Bonsky. In to score is Banuelos. Also to score is Martinez to make it 6-2 in favor of the Cougars. Banuelos and Martinez coming around to score on another error by Riley. So both of the runs are unearned. And 2 outs in the inning. First pitch to Jose Sandoval is a ball. Jose 0 for 1 with a walk. Jose struck out on a 2-strike bunt back in the 4th, and now it's 1-1. Sandoval gets a hold of that one. And that's an out. A nice sliding catch by Arnold Escobedo for the 3rd out. That should be a nice highlight to see. Sandoval really got a hold of that one. But let's watch Escobedo go and get it. So 2 runs in the inning as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Back at Cardinals Lawndale High School, the Cardinals are taking on the Hawthorne Cougars in a crosstown rivalry. 6-2 the score. Banuelos, first pitch to Argueta is an out. And that'll bring up the top of the order in Arnold Escobedo and then Mike Zambrano. Nice play on the infield. They see Andrew Banuelos into his 5th inning of work with 6 strikeouts. In for a strike to Escobedo. Arnold making a terrific play to end the 5th inning. Going to his left into right center field to dive and make the catch on Jose Sandoval's line drive. 1-1's the count now to Escobedo, who's 0 for 2. 2-1. Ground ball to shortstop. Scooped up by Juarez. On to Henderson. 2 down. So that'll bring up the freshman, Mike Zambrano. As there you see Banuelos, the captain of the Cougars, cruising along. And the nice play by Juarez. It looks like we have a pinch hitter up now, and that's Eddie Zambrano in for Mike Zambrano. Low for a ball to Zambrano. Ed Zambrano in the bottom of the 5th. So let's see if Eddie takes over at second base. Looks at a strike. Eddie's a junior. And he pokes this one up the first base line, but that's foul. And strike 3 called. And that's number 7 for Zambrano. And he got each one of the brothers. And 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals in the 5th inning. The Cougars are going to lead off with Carlos Jacobo. Then it'll be Mike Henderson and Jesus Soriano against Jesus Sanchez. With the Cougars leading 6-2. This one's fouled back. So Jacobo is 1 for 2. Bounced out to shortstop in the first inning to end things, and then had a base hit and scored back in the 4th inning. Outside for a ball. So Jacobo looking to get some more insurance and sends this one high into right center field, and Escobedo is there to put it away. Boy, we have a couple of good center fielders playing today. One is Arnold Escobedo, who's made one terrific catch out there. And then there's Stevie Leyva. That brings up Mike Henderson, who had the big hit back in the 4th inning. A base hit that skipped past Argueta for 2 runs. So Big Mike fouling that one off. Sanchez just outside, 1-1. Now on the other side of the ledger, Andrew Banuelos has gone 5 innings, given up 2 runs on 3 hits, has struck out 7, walked only 1, but has thrown 71 pitches. 2-1 now to Henderson. Sanchez getting ready in relief of Armando Novella, the sophomore, doing a good job. Swing and a miss. Henderson couldn't catch up with that one. Novella going 4 innings, giving up 4 runs on 4 hits, but the 4 walks really hurt him, and he struck out 3. Ground ball. Big on the short hop to Escobedo and throws him out. 6-3 on the put out. And that'll bring up the bottom of the order and Jesus Soriano. But I do believe we have a pinch hitter. Number 34, Eric Bradnovich, just a freshman. At least I believe that's him, because the numbers that are on the roster may not necessarily match the road uniforms. So we'll go with that. Eric Bradnovich. Pinch hitting. And looks at a strike, the left-hander. Pinch hitting in the top of the 6th. And it is Eric Bradanovich. So says Tamra. Tamra doing a good job covering the Cougars for us today. Eric swings and misses at that one. Again, Eric just a freshman. Swings and misses. McField drops it, but throws on Tabansky for the out, and that'll do it. Strikeout 2-3 for Bradanovich and the Cougars as they go 1-2-3 against Jesus Sanchez as we go to the top of the 7th. Back at Lawndale High School, I meant to say the bottom of the 6th, not the top of the 7th, because we're at Lawndale High School and the Cardinals are up. They're the home team. Dimitri McField is up and looks at ball 1. Dimitri 0 for 1 with a walk and scored. And Banuelos is out there again this inning in his 6th inning of work for the Cougars. Fastball, just as much mustard on it as the first inning, but that's outside 2-2. Back in the 4th inning, now 3-1. McField walked, and then after an Escobedo single was knocked in by Tyler Bonsky's RBI hit as McField fouls that one back. And then Jesse Garcia with an RBI double. And look out. McField staring down at Banuelos because that's about the 3rd pitch underneath the chin of McField today. But hey, you're not doing your team any good by going after the pitcher. There you see McField and Mike Henderson. George Escobedo up to bat now is 1 for 2. And Dimitri McField, don't know if he is a threat to steal or not. Does not have a stolen base attempt. Actually, he does have 4 stolen bases, as this one's fouled back by Escobedo. George singled and scored back in the 4th inning and struck out swinging to lead off the 2nd. In the dirt, nice stop by Sandoval. At least keeps it in the neighborhood. So George, the senior, and another pickoff try, and back in underneath the tag is McField. So he does have 4 steals. And takes a nice healthy lead. Fastball, and that is just low. I believe it's 2-1. Well, the sun came out from behind a cloud and has lit everything up all of a sudden. Low again as Banuelos took something off of it. Right down the middle for a strike. Got a lot of Cougar fans here. Escobedo trying to move the runner along. Dimitri McField at first base. Fastball to second base, bobbled, and Soriano can't do anything with it. That was a hot smash. Banuelos, you saw him try to flag it down, couldn't do it. So that was a hot smash. I'd like to see the replay on that one before we give an error or not. Or not. There we see it before Bonsky steps in. He just bobbled it. So we're going to have to give Soriano an error. So now Banuelos in his 6th inning of work. Let's see. Can't really see the bullpen of the Cougars from where we're at. Bonsky pulls the bat back in time, but still called a strike by home plate umpire Jerry Flory. So it's 0-1 to Tyler, who is 1 for 1. Popped out to second base and then had an RBI single, a nice clean line drive back in the 4th inning. The runner goes and it's popped up on the infield. Henderson throws and back to second base is McField.
Hey, let's go, Jesse, let's go, baby. You got it, kid.
So down goes Bronski, and they're 1 down for Jesse Garcia.
Let's go, Jesse, let's go, kid. It's on you, kid. Let's go. Jump in here, huh? Let's go, kid.
Let's go, Cougars.
So still
Let's go, Jesse.
McField at second and Escobedo at first. First pitch to Garcia is a ball. At this point in his high school career,
Go, Jesse, let's go,
Andrew
kid, down there,
Banuelos really has to think out there, but still has enough to pitch a good fastball. Not as best stuff as it was back in the 1st inning, but still hit the corner. It's 1-1. There it is. And down goes Garcia. So 2 down now for Noe Tapia, who struck out twice. But the first time, actually that's Noe Tapia. The first time Noe struck out, Sandoval dropped the ball and ended up at first base. So 2 runners on, 2 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. And that ball almost, it does go into center field and gets by Stevie Leyva. Hitting third base is McField. He's going to try to score. Here comes the throw to the plate and gets underneath Sandoval's tag to score. Nice try on the backhanded swipe by Sandoval, but Dimitri McField comes in to score to make it 6-3. And at third base, there you see it, just getting by Sandoval's tag. And now Jeff Hines, the head coach, comes out to talk to Banuelos. So Escobedo is over at the third base now. Noe Tapia is still up to bat with a 2-0 count, but the error on Sandoval enabled Dimitri Field to get to second base, and then the error on Stevie Leyva allowed Dimitri Field to come in and score. So 2 errors, throwing errors on the play, or 2 errors on the play, 1 throwing error, 1 fielding. Tapia has the ball bounce off the third baseman, and coming in to score is Escobedo. I'm going to call that an infield hit and an RBI for Noe Tapia.
Let's go, kid.
So 2 runs in and nothing easy about him. And now the umpire talking to one of the players. That was George Escobedo, who just scored the run. So it's 6-4 in favor of the Cougars. And Isaac Gallen, who was injured by Stevie Leyva on a rundown, as Mike Henderson didn't get back to the bag in time for Sandoval to throw down there to try to pick up Tapia. But Gallen stayed in the game, and here he is at bat. Isaac is 0 for 2. As Banuelos chases back Tapia. So a walk and an error are turned into runs by the Cardinals. Tapia goes, and that opened up the big hole for Isaac Gallen for the base hit. And it's sent back in by Jacobo. So 2 down, and the Cardinals are still flying. That'll bring up Ivan Argueta. Now that'll bring up Miguel for the first time, Miguel Osorio. It's a ball to Miguel. Who took over in left field for Tapia. So Argueta's out of the ball game. And Tapia, I would imagine, is now in right field. So Sandoval going out to talk to Banuelos gave me time to try to straighten this mess out. And bottom of the 6th inning, Cardinals making some noise, but a fastball right at the letters is called for a strike. Ground ball into the hole, but plugged up by Juarez. And out of Jesus Soriano was not playing his position. So that's going to be called an infield hit by Orosio. So now the bases are loaded with 2 down. Tapia is at third. Gallen is at second. Orosio is at first, and a big swing and a miss by Arnold Escobedo, who has not gotten the ball out of the infield today. Bounced out to pitch, and then bounced out twice to shortstop. Arnold is the 8th batter to come up against Banuelos. And Coach Jeff Hines has to be watching Banuelos very closely, but 2 outs. And the tying run out in second base in Isaac Gallen. Pitch is just low. Two outs, bases loaded for Escobedo. Fastball hit to third base. Martinez going the long way. Safe. Here comes the tying run, and out at the plate is Isaac Gallen. But scoring is Noe Tapia. Cut down at the plate, 3-2 is Isaac Gallen on the fielder's choice. Ground ball by Arnold Escobedo. But that ends the inning, and that cuts the lead for the Cougars down to 1. And there's the out at home plate a nice tag by Sandoval. A good throw by Mike Henderson. And we'll take this quick timeout. Top of the 7th inning. It's 7-6 in favor of the Cougars. Let's go to Egidio.
Thanks, Lou. Well, the Cardinals bat awaken here in the bottom of the 6th. They've cut the lead within 1. It's 6-5. One of those runs came in at the feet of Dimitri McField, the catcher, number 18. He leads the team with a batting average of .462. He's going to be the guy to watch out for the Cardinals. They're looking for another comeback here, Lou. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Egidio. That brings up the top of the order and Stevie Leyva, followed by Jonathan Juarez and Andrew Banuelos. We'll see if Andrew will hit for himself or not. Six to 5 is our score. Did I misspeak again? Okay, I apologize. First game of the year. But that's a strike to Leyva. As Jeff Hines trots to the third base coaching box. Leyva fouls that back and it's 0-2. So Andrew Banuelos has gone all the way, given up 5 runs on 6 hits and struck out 7. And Leyva looks at a ball. Fouls this one back, remains 1-2. Leyva is 1 for 2 with a walk. Stole a base and came around to score back in the first inning after his base hit to center field and then popped up to shortstop and then walked. And then Leyva thought the ball hit him. But umpire Jerry Flory said it hit the bat as well. So wearing that arm guard, the arm guard fell off after it was hit, but it also hit the bottom of the bat. Ooh, boy, Sanchez just missed on that one. So it's 2-2 to Stevie Leyva, one of the senior leaders on this Cougar team. Way up high, and that loads up the count at 3-2. Sanchez got the Cougars 1-2-3 back in the 6th, but gave up 2 runs in the 5th inning. And this one is just outside. So Leyva earns a walk. Third walk given up by Sanchez. Against 1 strikeout. And has not given up a hit. Strike called on Jonathan Juarez as Leyva's chased back by McField's throw down to first. Juarez is 0 for 2, but did walk and come around to score back in the first inning. Bounced out to shortstop in the 3rd inning and bounced out to second in the 5th inning. Here comes the 0-1 from Sanchez, and that's hit the other way into right field for a base hit. And trying to get Juarez at first base, and the throw goes awry. So Leyva ends up at third base. Juarez ends up at second. So we're going to call that a base hit and an error on the right fielder. And that'll bring up Andrew Banuelos' spot. And yep, there he is. Andrew is the big man on this campus as well. What a terrific game he has had. 6 innings pitched, given up 3 runs on 6 hits, but has struck out 7 and walked 1. So Coach Prahody going out and talking to his pitcher, Jesus Sanchez, as Andrew Banuelos goes to talk to his third base and head coach. So now they're going to give a walk, an intentional walk, to Banuelos. And that loads the bases. So with no out, bases loaded. So trying to get a force play at every bag. But in that you get the cleanup hitter in Javier Martinez, who looks at a strike. Javier is 0 for 1. And hits this one into left center field. Escobedo on the run, catches it, but tagging and coming home is Stevie Leyva to make it 7-5 and look out at second base. The throw went wild, but Juarez goes back. So the sacrifice fly works for Martinez with another RBI. That makes it 7-5. And that'll bring up Max Riley, who's had a terrific game. Had a base hit to lead off the 4th inning and came around to score. Also had an RBI ground out as McField lets the ball get by him. And everybody moves up. Juarez to third and Banuelos to second. So a wild pitch for Sanchez puts the runners in scoring position, and a breaking ball stays up. 2-0 to Max Riley. Sanchez, that pitch was up, so now it's 3-0. So Jesus, after getting the Cougars in order in the 6th, has seen the wheels start to wobble here in the 7th. And that was a nice pitch by Sanchez. 3-1. Riley wanted that one to be called a ball, but a good call by the umpire. Here comes a 3-1 from Sanchez in a squeeze play. The only play that Sanchez has is to first base. So an RBI for Riley as Juarez scores the run and Banuelos goes down to third. That'll bring up Jose Sandoval, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. But he's had a terrific game behind the plate, that's for sure, as he looks at ball one. So as usual, we see a little bit of everything today with these two teams. That breaking ball spins low and away. Jesus Sanchez looks at the runners. This one's into right center field and goes near the wall, and that'll clear the bases as Andrew Banuelos scores. 3 runs in the inning, that makes it 9-5. RBI single for Sandoval into center field. And the first hit for Sandoval. And we're going to have a pinch hitter coming in for Jeff Hines is Carlos Jacobo. I believe he got a pinch hitter, either that or a pinch runner. Just kind of waiting to see this umpire, home plate umpire Jerry Flory, to move out of the way. Still can't see the number on the batter. Okay, so that is Carlos Jacobo, but somebody, maybe you got a pinch runner. Jose Sandoval, number 11, was the batter who, there's a ground ball up the middle, and Escobedo finally gets a handle on it and steps on the bag. So 6 unassisted on the putout. Fielder's choice for Jacobo to end the inning. So last call for the Cardinals as we go to the bottom of the 7th. As we look at this ground ball, Escobedo finally gets the handle on it and pitches it to Zambrano. So 6-4 on the putout. And the fielder's choice, last call for the Cardinals. Eddie Zambrano, Dimitri McField, and George Escobedo in that order to go up against Andrew Banuelos, who is the story of this ball game. Going out for his 7th inning of work. Fastball is in the dirt, 1-0. Eddie Zambrano came on as a pinch hitter back in the 5th inning and struck out looking. Ball 2. But Zambrano's given up 5 runs on 6 hits and struck out 7 and only walking 1. Pitches that one in for a strike, took something off of it. Had a shaky 6th inning, giving up 3 runs on 3 hits, and then gave up 2 runs on a couple of hits in the 4th inning. This one's fouled away, so Zambrano evens it up at 2-2. Same as the jersey number on Eddie Zambrano. An entertaining game here at Lawndale High School as this breaking ball is outside, now 3-2. Fastball, and that is fouled back, remains 3-2. Here's Banuelos' pitch, and that's fouled away again. So Zambrano is now over the 100 pitch mark. If my numbers are even near correct. And that's the 4th foul ball by Eddie Zambrano. And umpire Jerry Flory says, hey, I don't have any more baseballs left here, guys. Your kid just put them all over the fence the wrong way. So 98 pitches through 6 innings. And 5, 6, 7, 8 pitches here. That's 106 pitches for Andrew Banuelos. And Eddie Zambrano just happy to be up there. So some of the players and the kids around are retrieving the balls and bringing them back in. Boy, if you ever wanted to make a donation to the baseball team, just bring a case of balls. Nicely done, Mike Zambrano, to earn that walk. Only the 2nd walk given up by Andrew Banuelos today. That'll bring up Dimitri McField, who's really been a pain to Banuelos, even though he's officially 0 for 1, has walked and scored twice in the 4th and the 6th. And let's see if Banuelos brushes McField off the plate again underneath the chin. Not that time. Good save by Sandoval. There's been at least 2 pitches that McField really didn't care for from Andrew Banuelos. Fastball right down Inglewood Avenue. But you'd think that Banuelos would just want to put this one in the bank and get home. There's the A move. And back on his belly is Zambrano. Mike has 2 stolen bases on the year. And the well-coached Cougar battery of Banuelos and Sandoval know that very well. So 2-1 now to McField. Tipped foul, so it's 2-2 now to the Cardinal catcher. Cardinals are taking a lot of Banuelos pitches, trying to get him to run out of gas. But Andrew must be one of those new electric cars. Just plug him in, he keeps chugging. Fastball, and that's fouled back. And a call for some more balls. Two and two the count. Nobody out and a man on. And that's up high. Now it's 3-2. Zambrano walked to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss. McField couldn't catch up with that fastball. Strikeout number 8 on the day for Banuelos, who came in with a 2-0 record and 11 strikeouts on the year, has 8 already today. And that'll bring up George Escobedo with 1 down and 1 on. Breaking ball stays up. George is 1 for 2 officially. Struck out in the 2nd, had a base hit to right field and scored, and was on an error and scored in the 6th. Runner goes, and the ball is hit to shortstop. Quick throw by Juarez, and nice play by Henderson just to keep it in front of him. So an infield hit for Escobedo. Zambrano's now at 2nd. And Escobedo with 6 stolen bases, is over at first. Zambrano with 2, and that might be it for Andrew Banuelos. Or it might not be. So they're going for some strategy right now, and yep, that's going to be it for Andy. He should get a good hand. Boy, what a workhorse he was today. So Banuelos goes into the dugout after the base hit by George Escobedo. So the runners that are out there now, Zambrano and Escobedo, are the responsibility of Banuelos, who goes 6 1/3. So Jonathan Juarez comes in, number 2. So now Juarez, who is at shortstop, we're going to have a new shortstop. As Juarez completing his warm-up tosses. We'll get Juarez's numbers here in just a moment as we try to find out who our new shortstop is. If he gets out of the way of our umpire, that's Andrew Banuelos, goes out to shortstop. And that brings up Tyler Bonsky. Bonsky today is 1 for 3 with an RBI. Looks at a strike. So Banuelos went into the dugout to get a new glove, get his infielder's glove, and is back out there. Ground ball. Nice hop to Henderson, and has to get it over to Juarez quickly to cover, and the put out is made. 3-1 on the put out, and Escobedo goes over to second, and down to third is Zambrano, but there's 2 down for Jesse Garcia, who had an RBI double back in the 4th inning. But down 9-5, the Cardinals just need base runners, and they need runs, need to chip away. Two and 0, says Flory. Those are 2 good pitches that Garcia's laid off on. Big hack and a miss. 2-1. Eddie Zambrano at third and George Escobedo at second for the Cardinals, with 2 down. Poked into center field for a base hit, and in is Zambrano to score. Here comes Escobedo to score to make it 9-7 on the RBI single by Jesse Garcia. So Jesse Garcia doing a great job at the plate today as the designated hitter for the Cardinals, doing his job with a 2-out, 2-run single. And this one's fouled back by Noe Tapia. So Noe had an RBI single back in the 6th inning and is struck out twice. Grounds this one right back to Juarez, and that's the ball game. But 2 runs come across, and it's 9 to 7 is the final score. Hawthorne over Lawndale. The Cougars improve to 4-1-1 and get their first win on the road. It's 1-1-1. Meanwhile, Lawndale falls to 2-4 and are 1-3 at home. Our player of the game has to be Andrew Banuelos for the Cougars, who went 6 2/3 innings, and those runs were charged to Banuelos. So he gives up 7 runs on 6 hits. Check that, 7 runs on 7 hits. Struck out 8 and walked only 2. Andrew Banuelos. And also at the plate, Andrew was 0 for 1 officially, but was walked 3 times and scored twice. And for the Cardinals, the player of the game, the tip of the hat has to go to Jesse Garcia, who had 2 hits and 4 at-bats and 3 RBI. And why don't we take a quick timeout, and we'll be back to wrap this one up. Back here at Lawndale High School, 9 to 7, the Cougars over the Cardinals. And let's go to Egidio with a special guest.
Thanks, Lou. Coach, a roller coaster of a game here so far tonight. Not the results, unfortunately, you were looking for. How do you feel about your pitching matchup going with the sophomore and then the freshman into this game?
You know, I felt the guys, showed me in practice they could do it. We just gave up, too many walks. Didn't get that timely hitting to, fight back. But our guys definitely gave it all they had, though.
And your bats woke up in the bottom of the 6th a little bit there, and again at the end of the 7th. How do you think your guys played on offense here? Maybe a little bit too late?
Yeah, just too late. Starting the game, first 6 guys went down in order, so it was tough battling back. Playing, battling all game, fighting, trying to, keep up with those guys. It's tough to do. With that pitcher like that, he was pretty good out there today.
And on the 19th, you have Culver City. What do you take away from this game? Looking forward to that game next week.
We just got to get better, start Monday. Every day working hard here, but we got a young team. These guys hustle, so we'll be all right.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Good
luck the rest of the season. Thank you. Lou, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Egidio. And then Coach Jeff Brahody in his first year with the Lawndale Cardinals. Also, his dad, Rich Brahody, is also helping coach, and James Cooper, one of the security officers here at Lawndale High School, also helping out coaching the team. And also helping coach is the JV head coach, Matthew. And also want to thank today for the Cardinals, Jonathan Cruz, the team manager for the Cardinals, and Kayla Phillips, replacement, Kiara Cuevas. Want to thank her. And let's go to Tamra.
Ready? Okay, Coach, congratulations on the win. But how would you describe the team's performance today?
Overall, I would say it was fair. A little shaky toward the end. We got emotional, but we'll take the win.
Andrew, he had such a good game today, but he struggled in the 6th. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, again, I think he got a little bit emotional. He threw the ball well in the first 4 innings, and then he struggled a little. He got a little emotional, got a little tired.
How do you take a win like this? How do you take a win like this down the road?
We take this and use this as a learning experience. The mistakes that we made, we try to twist that around into a positive. Just use it as a learning experience.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Back to you, Luke.
Thank you very much, Tamara. And that's going to do it from Lawndale High School, where the Cardinals go down in defeat to the Hawthorne Cougars, 9 to 7. This is Lou Stowers for the terrific City TV crew saying until next time, so long.